Hey guys, it's Robbie here, and this is Frecky Fit Wolf. It's time for a special edition of Foodie Fridays. This week we're calling it Frugal Foodie Fridays. Say that 10 times fast. Holy tongue twister. But yes, so first of all, if you don't know what Foodie Fridays is, it is where myself and Lisa from From Dumpy to Diva, whose link will be in the description below, we take suggestions from you guys, the viewers, the subscribers, our friends, of 5 ingredients, and we each have to cook something. Now, then we post our videos up on Wednesday, and you guys vote on which dish you like more. Friday night, we go live to talk about it, announce the winner, pick the next drawings, and just general chat and fun. So this week, instead of the 5 ingredients that you guys give us, we got a challenge to make a frugal video. So we each had to spend $10 or less in order to make our dishes, and we'll still do the rest of it like usual. We will put it up on Wednesday, and then we'll go live on Friday night. So stay tuned to see what I came up with for $10 or less. All right, so for $10 or less, I can relate to this a lot. Usually it was when I was being a hardcore fatty. So making something $10 or less and being healthier, that was a little bit thought-provoking. I actually ended up going with something that I used to make all the time and just made it a little bit healthier. And there are ways that you can make it even healthier, but with the budget amount, kind of cut into it. So first of all, I'm going to show my receipt. And where is it? So if you can see, it's probably backwards for you guys, but $10.28 is what I spent total because I was comparing nutrition and accidentally put both items in my bag. So technically it would have been $1 cheaper. So anyway, I am making poor man stroganoff. So I'm sure you've heard of beef stroganoff, of course, who hasn't? But this is like a cheap, low budget version of it. So now, first of all, we need some noodles. So that's gonna be my first ingredient. And honestly, I don't even have 5 ingredients here. I have 4. So you need noodles. These are the no yolks egg noodles, the broad version. They are cholesterol-free, low fat, and low sodium, which y'all know I'm trying to cut down on my sodium. So that, and then cream of mushroom soup, which is also 98% fat-free. Now, instead of beef, and you can still do it depending on how you want to go, just the beef ended up being more expensive. I decided to go with what was on sale, which were these ground turkey patties. And just because they're shaped like a patty doesn't mean you have to eat them like a patty. You can cut it up and use it like you would with normal ground meat. Now, the other things in the fridge. The last ingredient would be sour cream. This is the light version. You can get fat-free versions if you like. I just feel like I don't love those as much, but they would be less calories and less points. So that's all of those. And in case you're curious, I was comparing to see if a different type of noodle would be way more fattening, because this was 99 cents versus the egg noodles would be $2. Because if this was just as healthy, I was going to go back and grab some actual mushrooms or some other stuff to add to it. But this was a lot more fattening, so I'm sticking with the traditional egg noodles. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, you're just gonna take those turkey burgers and throw them in the skillet. And obviously you do not need to throw them in nicely because you're gonna be breaking them up. And proceed to do that. Now, I did spray a little bit of an olive oil spray on there. Part of the challenge was not to use a bunch of spices and stuff, because, we wanted for, $10 or less. But some staples like, a pan spray or salt, pepper, I'm feeling like that should be an exception because you typically always have those. At least I always do, so hopefully I'm not breaking the rules by doing that. And over here I do have a pot of water that is starting to boil for the noodles. And also I did measure out 6 ounces out of that 12-ounce container of the noodles, because you don't need the whole 12 ounces, I don't feel. All right, so we're gonna let this cook up and I'll be back. All right, so there we go. That is all cooked up. Now I didn't say, but I don't think anyway, but this is a pound of the ground turkey. And at this point, if you were using ground beef, which you totally can, you would want to drain the fat and the grease that's come from it. This has a little bit of water, but I'm keeping that in there because it adds flavor to the rest. And at this point, it's super easy, guys. You get your cream of mushroom, and you're just pouring it in. Well, that spoon is a little too big. If you were adding actual mushroom, you would want to saute those up a little bit before moving on to this point. You put that in, and then also the sour cream. And this is the whole container, so this is 8 ounces. And you just want to mix all that together. At this point, the water is still boiling, or still coming to a boil. So after you get this mixed up, you want to turn the heat down to low as you got, and you're just going to let this simmer for a little while. All right, so we just let that go and simmer on low while we wait for this guy over here to boil and add the noodles in over there. Forgot to show myself adding in the noodles, but they are boiling up and cooking, and this is thickening up very nicely. So I'll be back when the noodles are done and after I've drained them. You don't need to watch me pour them in there because that's not very complicated. All right, so I've boiled the noodles and I've drained them. Now what I do, because I am a very lazy person, I just add it right on in there and then mix it all together. You can totally have it separate and only put a little bit on, but that's not how I roll. I like to just have as minimal pots and pans as I can. But if you want for better presentation, you can totally, set the noodles in a bowl and put the sauce on top. And plus then you can measure exactly how much sauce you have. But honestly, the meat and the rest of the ingredients for the sauce is the lowest point. The noodles is the highest point thing here. So go figure. Yeah, so that is that. I am going to measure out how many servings this is and then put it in a bowl, and I will talk to you guys in just a sec. All right, guys, time for my favorite part of every video where I cook. I get to eat, especially because I haven't eaten yet today, and this has been smelling good all morning. But that is what it looks like in a bowl. Isn't this bowl fancy? I feel fancy. But anyway, so let me just do a taste test. I don't really need to because I've had this so much, because this was like a staple for being like poor. Like, I mean, it makes all of that. Anyway. It's as good as I knew it would be. Like, I'm totally happy with that. I did end up adding just a little bit of pepper. Forgot to show that. Especially, I don't know if it's breaking the rules. So if I did, I automatically lose. I don't know if salt and pepper were part of the $10 or less rule. But yeah, so that ended up making 5 1-cup servings, which, I mean, even with a bite out of it, that's a decent amount. That's a lot of food. So you can easily have just one of those, and you'd have 5 servings. So perfect for lunch, dinner, several days in a row if you want to. For less than $10. I kind of like that. And I did go ahead and write down all the information. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I didn't last week, and I felt a little weird not going over the nutritional information. I'll still, like always, put the nutritional information in the link below, as well as, you know, serving sizes and all that jazz, and ingredients. But, so it ended up being 8.7 bites. Now, again, I am using iTrackBites, the app, which has basically all of the old Weight Watcher plans on there, as well as keto and a calorie counting portion on the app. And so I'm doing Carb Conscious, which is similar to Points Plus. That's what worked best for me, so that's what I do. So 8.7 bites on that. I'm sure if you are doing currently freestyle, it's less points because fat-free soup, ground turkey, I mean, those are both 0 or very, very low, right? Not 100% sure. I need to look into it, but yeah. So if you're doing it, that would cut the points probably in half. So don't get freaked out when you hear 8.7. But anyway, it's 354 calories, 12.4 grams of fat, 5.1 grams of saturated fat, 33.2 carbs, 2.4 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 23 grams of protein. So, I mean, it's got some good fiber and protein in there. And the carbs, that's regular carbs and not net carbs. Obviously, you would subtract it, and so it really would be basically 30 carbs. But yeah, so there you go. So that is this, and I'm gonna just take another bite because, like I said, I am hungry. I'm gonna be happy eating this today and tomorrow. Very happy. Yeah, so what'd you think? Mine was pretty simple, pretty easy, but very yummy. I've never done it with the ground turkey before. I'm not mad at it, but I am one of those that I don't mind ground turkey. I know some people are not a fan. When I'm using it in stuff like this, where there's other flavors, I like it. I'm not a huge fan of just ground turkey, but even still, like I'll do different things with taco seasoning and stuff, and I'm totally fine with ground turkey. Obviously, ground beef, like 80% lean, that would be way better, but it's also way more in calories. And actually, this time it was more expensive than those burgers because they were on sale for $3.99 versus paying $6 something for the ground beef. Obviously, if I am going to get ground beef, typically I will get, you know, the 90 or the 93% fat-free or lean, whatever the wording is. But that is even more expensive. So this was a Frugal Foodie Friday, so I didn't go that route. And plus, it's a lot less in calories. Although, honestly, points on Carb Conscious, the 90% ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey, all of them are the same amount of points. Obviously, different calories, and that's one thing you've got to pay attention to, especially if you do hit a point where you are struggling with, I'm using my points, but I'm not losing weight. If you look at the actual calories, like say for a pound of ground beef, actually not a pound, whatever the portion is. But either way, like the first search result, the ground beef is 16 points, the turkey and the chicken were all 16 points for like one typical serving. But they are obviously very different in calories. So I think that's super, super important to pay attention to. Just my little opinion being thrown out there, especially with all of the changes that might be happening or that are happening with Weight Watchers. Something major to pay attention to, especially, again, if you are struggling, if you have hit a spot where you feel like you're following the plan, but you're not losing. I like to have that information on there. That's why I like iTrackBites, because you can have your secondary metric and it shows my calories. I don't stalk my calories. I glance at them throughout the day and be like, okay, yeah, I'm where I want to be. But if I have a ton of 0-point foods and I see my calories creeping up there, it's something you got to pay attention to. But anyway, not giving a lecture on those type of things right now. This is Frugal Foodie Fridays. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've ever done like a knockoff, you know, poor man stroganoff or beef stroganoff, obviously there's no beef in this. But I like it. I'm very happy. I'm going to hurry up so that I can eat this and probably a second serving because I'm really hungry. But again, that's less than 20 points for 2 servings. That's 2 cups. That's a lot of food. And I can have it because I get 55 points. So I'm okay with that. Obviously, you might not want to eat 2 servings for 1 meal, but I'm still a big dude. Give me time, I'll have less points eventually. Anyway, so like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when I post. And after you finish this, go over to Lisa's channel, which description in the box below. Go over to her channel from Dumpy to Diva and check out what she made for Frugal Foodie Friday. I said it. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.